Hi, welcome to another video in our video snippet series. My name is Joel Garcia and I'm the Server and Tools Lead from Microsoft Philippines. The topic that we're going to cover in this snippet today is something that our customers and our partners don't quite clearly understand just yet. It's something called understanding virtual machine rights with Windows Server. So as we kind of cover the basic understanding of virtual machine rights with Windows Server, it's probably also good to watch the first video that we had as part of this series, which is the Just Switch It On video. So first, let's understand what we mean by virtual machine rights. Well, with Windows Server, we're proud to say that virtualization is built in. That means that Microsoft does not charge extra for virtualization technology. But for every version of Windows Server, and the two primary ones that I'm talking about are Windows Server 2012 Standard and Windows Server 2012 Data Center. With these two primary editions, there are associated virtual machine rights. Let me identify first the virtual machine rights, and then we'll go through and kind of explain why that's important. For Windows Server 2012 Data Center Edition, this is licensed for every 2 CPUs. And what we give you is you have an unlimited amount of VM rights, which means that if you have a 2 CPU machine, regardless of the number of cores on that machine, if you install Windows Server 2012 Data Center, you'll be able to create an unlimited number of virtual machines. And when you create an unlimited number of virtual machines, and you need to install previous versions or current versions of Windows, all you need to do is to call our licensing hotline and you can get a license key to install Windows in the virtual machines on Windows Server 2012. Now, when we look at Windows Server 2012 Standard, Windows Server 2012 Standard is the SKU that we have that enables you to add licenses as you're increasing your virtualization requirements. So in as much as Data Center is unlimited virtualization, and that's usually for our customers that have, that usually require an unlimited level of virtualization. There's also the need for companies who are slowly moving into virtualization and just adding virtual machines. So with Windows Server 2012 Standard, you get 2 virtual machine rights for every 2 CPUs. What that means is with the same hardware that I mentioned earlier, and you have 2 CPUs, you are entitled to install 2 virtual machines. And the same thing goes, you can go and call a hotline for the license key and you can install Windows Server instances within the guest VMs. If you want to increase your virtual machine rights, and let's say for example you wanted to do 4 virtual machines instead of 2, you will buy 2 copies of Standard. If you want to go to 6 virtual machines running on the same hardware, you will buy 3 copies of Standard, and so on and so forth. At some point in time, it's just cheaper to just go with Data Center, especially when you're looking at when your requirements are really along the lines of a limited virtualization, or if you're just simply moving virtual machines constantly, either for disaster recovery or otherwise within your data center, then it's just cheaper and more economical and more cost-effective to get Windows Server 2012 Data Center. So if you look at what Microsoft has to offer in terms of virtualization platform, we offer Windows Server 2012 Standard to grow and add virtual machine instances as customers grow their virtualization requirements. And then for those customers that require a higher level of density, we have Windows Server 2012 Data Center, which provides you an unlimited number of virtual machines. Just keep in mind that both editions are licensed for every 2 CPUs, right? And the features and capabilities across Standard and Data Center are the same, only differentiated by the amount of virtualization. So let's go have a look at a couple of slides to kind of help along with the explanation that we just gave. So let's look at a specific example. Here on the screen, we want to be able to show a little bit more about what we mean about virtualization rights. So let's say, for example, we bought a new piece of hardware, and this specific example is we're running Windows Server 2012 on a 2 CPU, 8 core processor, 16 GB memory hardware. Please take note that Windows Server is licensed for every 2 CPUs, regardless of the number of cores. Now, let's say you're running some older servers Windows Server 2008 R2, or even an older server than that, Windows Server 2003 R2, which is a 32-bit operating system. So let's say, for example, now you are now empowered to do what's called a P2V, or a physical to virtual migration. So you take these physical servers and you can migrate them into virtual machines. Windows Server Standard allows you to run and install 2 VM instances or 2 virtual machine instances, and that's on a single copy of Windows Server 2012 Standard. If you want to increase the number of VMs that you want to run on the box to 4 virtual machines, all you need to do is to buy an additional copy of Standard, and that will empower you or entitle you to 2 virtual machine instances. Now at some point, it's just going to be more economical depending on the hardware that you have and the virtualization requirements that you have. And in a world where the 2 CPU machine and 8 cores can actually consolidate as many as 16 servers, it is just more economical for you to buy 1 copy of Windows Server Data Center for every 2 CPUs, and you have unlimited virtualization. You have unlimited number of virtual machine rights for you to be able to consolidate, and the only real limitation is the amount of hardware that you have. With that, what Windows Server 2012 provides you is, whether you're a small business or a big business, to actually scale and grow with your virtualization requirements and provide the best economics and performance with Windows Server 2012. So as you can see, with Windows Server, it's very important to understand the virtual machine rights. It's because when you understand what you're actually entitled to and what you can deploy in terms of virtualization, you realize, why do you need to pay more for virtualization? Our virtualization is built in. And that's Windows Server 2012. And we hope after seeing this video that you download the evaluation copy of Windows Server 2012. And along with the relevant links that we provide on the webpage, if you have any questions, please feel free to email us at askusph@microsoft.com. Again, that's askusph@microsoft.com. We would be more than happy to answer any questions. We hope that you have found this video educational. We will be creating more in our snippet series, so watch out for more. My name is Joel Garcia, Server and Tools Lead for Microsoft Philippines. Thank you very much for watching.